Hi guys, welcome to Babble Station. I'm Lomi and I'm actually joined here by two of my friends, Fadie and Jub. Maybe you'd like to introduce yourselves?
Hi guys, I'm Francesca Balisi. They call me Fadie, and I'm from UST.
Hello guys, I'm Jubilee the Alban. You can call me Jub or Jubilee. And I'm also from UST. Batchmates.
They may be unfamiliar faces, but the reason why they're actually here today is because they're recent passers of the June 2025 Architecture Licensure Exam. And Juve here is actually from Barchan Architecture, so you may be familiar with him a little bit. And you might also be familiar with Fadie here, also Francesca, who is the top 10 of this batch. So, you guys are familiar with each other, right?
Yeah, actually we're friends. Kami ni Fadie or batch 2022. And we're in the same org, UAPSA UST. Yeah.
Kilala ko si Jubes through friends lang din. Mostly, never kami naging classmates. Pero, I mean, maliit lang din kasi yung community ng batch namin. So, we know each other.
Ay, kayo ba yung batch na parang
Transitional batch.
Transitional
Yes.
batch, right? So, ilang blocks kayo? Kasi usually in UST, at least nung time ko, we had 13 batches nung first year. So, medyo madami siya. So, hindi siya yung,
Dami.
we know each other kasi batchmates kami. May mga people na hindi mo talaga makikilala. Kayo ba?
Five blocks lang kami.
So, gets nga.
And
Super
then,
transitional.
eventually, di ba, it gets smaller. So
So,
yun.
even smaller than that. Okay. By the time na natapos kayo, ilang batches na lang kayo?
I think
Parang
3 to 4.
three to four.
The original batch, 3 na lang. 3.
The original batch,
I mean, original batch 2017.
yun
first year.
nag-survive, essentially.
Nagstay. Hindi lang nag-survive. I mean, I wouldn't call it survive.
Okay.
Sorry mga
Wait.
ata.
So, since strict sila, nahirapan ba kayo or were you guys always yung studious type? Parang mabait ba kayo masyado? So, hindi naman kayo nababother na masyado silang tutok.
Well, ako kasi, I think I was more on the studious type.
Oo.
Na I was just a quiet person in the classroom, ganyan. Tapos, yung nagsasabit ng plates on time. Ganun lang. Pero I wasn't really on the extroverted side. Since nung college, back then, I was just really quiet. Or parang I was just in class. But not really so much active
Oo.
in terms of other extracurricular
But
stuff.
you were part of a student org, di ba? So, I feel like medyo mas extroverted ka naman than ano. Were you guys officers?
Yes, officer ako before.
Oh,
Under
okay.
PRO.
Yes.
Yes.
So, extroverted na extroverted ka.
Well, friendly in a way. Friendly, but on the studio side.
Oo. So, hindi kayo
Kasi
masyado
first year
napapagalitan.
in UST, we have a cut-off eh. So
Meron pa
we're
din.
trying to meet a certain grade, like the average of a batch.
Mhm.
So, kaya ako mag-aaral. Bawal mag-lax, gano'n.
Oh.
That's true.
Feeling nyo ba, looking at it in hindsight, nakatulong yan sa results ng board exam nyo?
I think, yes, kasi more of the subjects that we learned kasi nung school, na-carry over siya to boards and even nung working na tayo for the 2-year apprentice. So, kasi I have my friends na they would still refer to their notes nung college and even yung handouts.
Actually,
Sabi
sobrang
nila, it's
shoutout sa
easier
kanila.
to, parang, sabi niya, Fadie, try mo yung handouts natin sa BU, ganyan, kasi mas madali pa siyang intindihin compared to what the review centers have. So, yun. I think it really helps.
Yung layout din, especially yung sa HOA, yung mga notes ko from HOA, as in yun yung main na review material ko during during my time na nag-review ako ng board exam. So, sobrang thank you. Shout out na lang sa profs natin sa UST for handing those out. Tapos, ayun, parang maraming hindi naturo sa college natin. Pero parang alam mo yun, feeling ko yung fundamentals or knowing how to learn na naturo sa atin. Especially since, di ba ilang beses tayo nag-mock boards?
Yeah.
Parang 4 or 3
Grabe yun.
beses
Tatlo.
yun. Tatlo, di ba? So medyo mapapressure ka talaga into passing. Ikaw?
Yeah, for me, it helped a lot. Kasi, one is yung study habit mo during college. Parang, if you really have that ever since, it's easier for you to review. And plus, the study materials, you get to filter out certain lessons na kailangan mo mag-focus on. Since nadaanan mo na yun for the 5 years of your architecture school, come board exam, it's easier for you to tackle on kung saan ka mag-focus.
Pero I feel like may extra pressure lang din kasi since nakatatlo tayong mock boards before, parang nagbe-build up tuloy yung pressure niya. Parang, okay, ito na yung final board exam.
Na napasa mo na lahat. Ito na lang yung last. Actually, nakaka-pressure.
Ito na yung may bearing, no?
May bearing din naman yun.
Sorry.
Kasi diba yung
kasi prerequisite.
if hindi mo siya napasa, prerequisite siya. So, automatically, madedelay into a domino effect yung mo. So, I feel like, design talaga, at least yung curriculum natin in a way, na i-pressure tayo until medyo ready na tayong mag-board exam.
Yep.
Yes.
Which I think, okay lang naman. Is that a hot take? Okay lang naman.
Good training, actually.
Good
training.
May
Ayan,
mock
tignan nyo.
boards.
You guys are passers.
Yay! Architects,
Nung tinake nyo ba, or nung waiting for the exam results, sure kayo? Like, ano yung percentage na pasa ako? Like, sure akong papasa ako. Ano?
Ako na una. Okay.
Sige, ikaw muna.
Well, for me, you can't be sure of anything unless you already have it or see it.
Oo. Sabihin na natin
Pero,
yan. Pero,
if you're looking at the study or the time that you allotted for such exam, masasabi mo na, for me, masasabi ko na papasa ako.
parang hindi ka nagkulang.
Parang feel ko, if I were to return back time, wow. Yeah. Same pa rin. Kasi I know I was prepared for the exams. Kasi so,
Wala kang
feel ko,
babaguhin.
hindi ako nag-lack in terms of review or hindi ako nag-slack off for, I really prepared for it. So, for me,
Medyo sure.
I would say 90%. Kasi nga, laging may...
Anything could happen.
Anything could
diba?
happen. And nandun yung humility You can't be too confident.
So, yung 10% na yun is accounting for humility lang.
Well, major 10%.
Oo, sige. Ikaw ba, Fadie?
So, for me, dun sa process kasi of taking the exam, di ba, we were trained to count the number of right answers and then count the number of unsure answers, pati yung sure kang mali.
Oo.
And then, for me kasi, medyo nag-50-50 ako. Sabi ko, hala, kung sasama pa yung mga unsure ko, tapos kung mali lahat ng unsure na yon di ano nang sagot, ko score, ganyan. And then, there were many errors din, I think, on the part na, sa mga questions. More of yung mga yung mga units, ganun. So, there was like a confusion, especially on the part na some questions na, let's say, yung BP344, there was a new released IRR.
Meron nga. Yeah.
For this
Right
year,
before
diba?
yours, diba? Sa inyo in-apply yung
Pero
question.
yung lumabas kasi for the choices was both of the yung luma and then the new one. So you don't know which one to answer.
sinasabi, applying the new or parang applying the old.
So parang, oh my gosh, tama ba ako doon or hindi? Parang ganun.
Like per item, depende sa examinee.
Oo.
If he would choose yung old or new.
Parang hindi mo alam, no?
Whichever
Kailangan
is
mo isa
appropriate for the,
psychology yung
situation. Kasi diba situation-based yun.
Yun yung feeling ko din underrated na pag-usapan prior to board exam review. Kasi sa review center, pinag-uusapan to palagi. Kailangan yung mindset mo is ano yung iisipin ng examiner.
Yeah.
Minsan, hindi siya about objectivity. Kasi, kung objectivity lang yung kinoconsider natin, maraming objectively correct na answers.
Yep.
And madalas, yung objectively correct na answers, andun lahat.
Yeah.
So, kailangan mo talagang,
Which
kaya
one
yung
yung pinakatama dito?
Tapos
Parang
i-base
yes.
mo sa ibang question, di ba? Parang ano kaya, like based dito sa vibe na to.
Yes.
Ano kaya yung nangyayari sa sa utak nila, di ba? Natatandaan mo pa ba kung ilan yung tama mong sure na sure answers?
Nung for the day 1, ginawal ko sana 10 mistakes lang.
Yes.
Para 90 yung star, ganyan. Pero syempre in reality, hindi naman nangyari yon. So I think 80 yung star ko. Kasi yung mga unsure din ako, ginawa ko na din correct. Para ma-mind sa sarili. Parang ganun. So I was like, okay. So, tapos sa day 2 naman, since medyo Mas mahirap pa. Nahirapan din ako sa day 2 kasi there were a lot of things na unexpected for our batch.
Yeah.
So, yun yung talagang, though kinount ko siya, pero sabi ko, nagka-calculator ako ng parang sabi ko, parang 70 lang to. Paano pa yung mali? So, yun, there was, parang konting anxiousness lang sa part na unsure answers. Kasi you won't really know talaga.
So, kamusta yung confidence levels nyo during all of those? Kasi phases yan eh. May batches na nagsasabing day 1 AM hardest sa kanila. Yung iba naman day 1 PM, yung iba naman design. So, minsan you start confident, tapos nagiging rocky, minsan nagba-bounce back. How were you guys? How was the entire journey?
Well, sabi kasi nung iba, like previous batches ng board exam takers, day 1 AM, like HOA cluster would usually be your parang pangbawi na cluster.
Yeah, may
Kasi,
mga nagsasabi nga nun.
Kumbaga, it's more of theoretical type of questions talaga. However, it's the least number of items out of all exams.
Pero sila yung most number of things to review kasi sobrang lawak ng terms sa history.
Tapos congested sa I think 100 items.
100 questions, diba? So, hindi mo alam kung saan siya tatama.
Yeah, if imamat mo, parang 1:1.
Yeah.
Lumalabas. So, parang the lesser items, parang it's harder for you to pass. Yeah. However, sa akin, day 1 AM, doon ako confident. Actually, doon ako nagbilang ng stars. ng sagot.
Yun yung 90%, 10%
Yun yung 90%.
accounting for humility.
Ka-clarify ko lang. Yun. Pero BTBU and design, medyo nasisira na yung confidence ko eh. Kasi hindi na ako sure sa mga sagot ko.
So, di mo na
So, hindi ko na binibilang.
So, for me, yung AM subjects, dun ako nagbilang din ng stars. Pero actually, if I compare to the PM, medyo mas nagustuhan ko yung layout ng exam na yun. Kasi I feel like medyo mas familiar lang din ako with the things that came out. Like, surprisingly, yung mga ni-review ko, yung mga tinry ko talaga i-memorize for some laws, dun talaga sila lumabas. So, sabi ko, before kasi sabi ko, hindi ko naaralin tong mga housing, something. Tapos, pero later on, yun na lang din yung review ko. Then, surprisingly, 10 points din.
10
So, parang,
minsan, diba?
naman.
Parang yung block na yun. Kaya if na-miss mo yung buong topic na yun, wala na.
And then, for day 2, for PM naman pala. Doon ko kasi na-feel na pagod na yung brain ko from the AM. Alam mo yung parang nagsasagot ako na A yung sagot ko pero nasi-shade ko C or B. Tapos parang, mali na to. So, magbubura ako. Parang ganon. So, nafe-feel ko na yung brain na medyo pa-shutdown na siya. So, parang kailangan ko na
sumasuko na siya.
Parang ganon. And then, for the midday break, yung midday na gitna from day 1 and 2.
Nagpahinga ka ba? Or
Actually,
ino-overthink mo?
Hindi ako nagpahinga. Kasi some people say na, dapat pahinga ka na sa gitnang na yan, rest. But what I did was, I kinda reviewed on interior design since yung chairman namin
talaga?
had experience sa interior design. Yep. Yung mga review centers didn't really touch up on that. So that's what, yun yung mga focus ko nun. And then for day 2, sobrang unexpected lang nun eh. So, it was more like,
why? Ano ba yung expectation nyo? Like, di ba kasi, pag tinuturuan tayo sa review centers, sinasabi, ito yun dapat nyo expect. Yeah. Usually, di ba yung format niya is, merong mga 5 to 6 questions, design problems, tapos yung mga questions is related to those design problems. Yun yung expectation nyo.
Yeah.
So, how was it on actual?
When I saw the test paper, nagulat ako kasi parang may mga basta there were symbols of drafting symbols sa AutoCAD, mga ganon. And then, pag-check namin sa likod, isa lang yung problem.
Design problem.
Isang design problem for the whole day.
For the whole day. So, parang may mga iba nagre-rejoice na agad early. Kasi parang, oh my gosh, mas mabilis na. Pero, hindi ko in-expect na aabutin ko yung buong whole day para sagutin yun. Kasi nga, considering na one design problem lang.
Ilang hours ba yung usually ulit yung day 2?
Until 5?
10? Yeah,
6?
8 to 6 p.m.
8 to 6 p.m.
Almost 12
Almost,
hours
yeah.
on one design problem.
Yeah.
Pagkapasa sa amin ng design problem, pagkabasa ko ng 2 questions, it's gonna be a long day.
Sasabak ka.
Akala ko, yung target ko, I'll finish this by 4 p.m. Yes, the confidence. Nung pag-think ko ng first few questions, sabi ko, ano to?
Ano ba yung mga questions that was there?
It was not purely architectural eh. May
parang drafting nga eh.
Drafting, engineering, interior.
Drafting?
Yeah, drafting. Like symbols and all.
Talaga?
Symbols.
Parang hindi yun tinuturo sa review center at all, right?
Talagang na-feel ko doon na required talaga yung 2-year apprenticeship.
Na-feel mo?
Yup.
Oo. Sabi ko, ay buti na lang gumawa ako ng, ano yun? Yung detail na lumabas. Sabi ko,
Same.
ginawa ko to. Ano ulit to? Anong
Detail yun.
Ako naman, yun yung last na dinetail ko before
Fresh
taking a
na
leave.
fresh.
Fresh na fresh eh.
So, going into apprenticeship, intentional ba kayo sa pagpili ng apprenticeship? Kasi I know some people, when they're really targeting na medyo mas smooth yung transition nila to take the board exam, gusto talaga nilang mag-apply sa firm na hahayaan sila mag-touch on the different areas in design. Part ba yun ng consideration nyo? Or parang, kung ano lang, kahit ano naman, okay lang. Hindi siya part.
I really wanted to join a firm that would allow me to expose with other areas, not just one area like rendering or technical.
Yeah.
Parang, kumbaga hindi departmentalized.
Oo.
So, it was my first consideration before looking for a work during after graduation. And yun naman, solid. I'm with Barchan Architecture.
Yun.
Thank you.
Soft-promote.
Yeah.
So, for me naman, yung initial considerations ko before entering a firm as a new grad was I wanted to really expose myself in design because mainly dun ako nag-e-enjoy. Kaya, so yung napuntahan kong firm, okay naman, na-expose niya ako sa madaming design.
Yep.
And surprisingly, madami din naman siyang na-help out, especially dun sa day 2 na exam, which was yung mga RFI, RFA, ganyan-ganyan.
Diba?
And
mga
then,
interior design questions din. Diba?
yeah. But, I guess, yung mga lacking lang din, nung nagre-review na pala ako, dun ko lang na-feel na, ito pala yung medyo kinulang ako. Ganun. Kasi before naman, I didn't really think about it that way na I have to be, as a new grad, hindi mo pa may isip na, ito pala yung requirements for boards eh.
Oo.
So ako, I was just like, okay, I think nag-enjoy ako sa design. So, dito muna ako. Parang gano'n. Yeah.
Which I think is okay din naman.
Yeah.
Parang at least na-enjoy mo talaga yung 2 years.
Yes.
Work experience, you're free to work on a project, and hindi naman lahat ng ma-handle mo is from the start.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So
You're handling
honestly,
different phases.
different phases. So honestly, may advantage din na parang nag-help out ako sa other project like midway. So the terms, like the language ng design and transitioning to construction, at least we have an idea. Kasi hindi naman siya yung lahat ng projects ma-start mo na ikaw lang all the way na every project. Kasi collaborative ang architecture. So, ayun.
Parang nagkaroon ba kayo ng feeling nung binabasa niyo yung review materials na, uy, eto yun. Like, ito yung sinasabi nila. Tapos parang mas madali mong mag-gauge yung differences between the different materials and the different like utilities.
Yes.
Yeah, kasi if I were to compare reviewing as a student or as a fresh graduate with someone na nag-apprenticeship, it's
Malayo.
different eh.
Sobrang layo.
Parang fresh graduate, okay, kaya niya i-memorize. You can even pass the board exam. But yung actual bulk nun, parang di mo gets unless you work on it or you come across during your apprenticeship.
Gets.
That's true.
So, how long did you guys take to review? You mentioned kasi nag-start ka February. So, as in focused ka. Ikaw ba, how long did you take to review?
February. Nag-start ako February. Like, January, sineset ko yung schedule ko. And then, February is yung actual review.
So, essentially, parang both kayo, more on 6 months in the making talaga yung entire review process. Ano yun? Is it like full-time nagre-review kayo? Even though hindi ka na working at the time, may tinitake on ka pa ba na side hustles or anything? Or ikaw, like, were you also doing studying in like at the same time na nag-work ka?
Prior to my leave, I would study siguro at least 2 hours per day pagka-uwi. Kasi minsan, syempre gabi na, puyat ka na rin. Pero at least, dapat per day at least, makabasa ako 2 hours or makadaan lang man ako. Ganun. Kasi I wasn't watching live classes. Puro recorded na lang.
Oo.
Para handle ko yung time ko.
Actually, understandable.
So, for my experience naman, kasi 'di ba tayo, we have a 2-year minimum for the apprenticeship. For me, I took it ng almost 3 years din actually. So, and then kasi technically, pwede naman na kami mag-exam for January this year. Pero I really took my time na ma-feel ko na, okay, ready na talaga ako.
Sure na sure.
Sure na June. Ganon. So, yun, it took me, actually, medyo mahaba din yung time ko na hindi pa ako, like, since di ba nag-resign ako ng January, start of review ko full-time was Feb, and then sometimes I was handling side hustles in the side. Pero hindi ko na siya yung main ko na talaga was review.
Yun yung main full-time job mo, essentially.
And then, medyo may konting, what do you call that? Transition period for me. Kasi hindi ko naman personally yung, alam mo yung gigising ako, tapos parang, hala, paano ba ulit mag-review? Parang gano'n.
Oo nga eh. Kasi ang tagal natin nag-work na. And di ba pag-work, it's more on output.
Yes.
Produce. Ngayon, kailangan taking everything in. So, I feel like valid naman. Kasi ako nung una din, mga 2-week transition din. Na parang mga 1 month pala akong nag-try na, okay, student na ulit ako. Kailangan ko mag-aral. So, nga, 6 months in the making.
Siguro one factor nung start ng review ko, like study leave, is yung handling ng review materials. Like, sobrang dami. Ang daming...
Ang overwhelming.
Pag magsa-start ka, ibabagsak sa'yo lahat ng topics and lahat ng like sub-modules on it, diba? So, nabigla ba ka? Nakaka-overwhelm siya. Ako, mga 3 days ko siyang hindi ginalaw kasi na-overwhelm ako.
When it arrives sa'yo, yung mga booklets ng review center. Personally, kasi binili ko yun lahat. So, nung dumating siya sa akin, hala, ang kakapal naman nito.
Parang ibalik niya na yan.
So, nung una, I really didn't look at it. Parang, I was attending classes, pero hindi ko muna siya inintindi. But then later on, I started to check na din yung contents niya. And then, nakatulong naman sa akin yung mga summarized reviews ng booklets nila.
So, summaries muna.
But then later on, as for the review process, I ended up reading pa din yung talagang book itself. Yung mga mother books ng architecture. Which really helped. Kasi yung mga HOA, old books. Ganyan.
Parang mas gets mo siya in
mga
full
DK-ching.
context.
Yes.
So, tapos mo lahat ng DK-ching.
Yung red. Ay, hindi ko siya natapos. May mga last 2 topics akong hindi nabasa na.
Okay na yan. Isa, no?
Parang okay na yan.
Yung DK-ching, yung red specifically, di ba, yun yung visual dictionary. Sobrang helpful niya kasi for those who aren't familiar, yung layout niya is in a way na they're designed per parang like naka-group na yung topics together. So, for example, parts of a house na structural, ando na lahat. So, nagigets, dun ko lang nagets yung halimbawa sa HOA. Yung pala yung relation ng ganito sa Egyptian architecture or sa Indian architecture. So, for me, really helpful din yung getting the source material. Kasi for example, if you guys are familiar with yung SNEFRU, yung mga tables na super, Imhotep SNEFRU na super summarized na everything, hindi mo magigets paano nila nakuha yung answers na yun. Pero dahil nga, if you get it from the source material, or at least madaanan mo yun, and then you go to yung summarized versions, mas naiintindihan mo siya visually. And visual learners naman talaga tayo. So helpful.
Sa akin yung summaries, pang last minute review. Like, siguro 3 weeks prior exam. Kasi baka may hindi ako nadaanan to from the main books, like main lessons. And going back sa visual dictionary, for me, if you master VD,
Ready ka
ready
na.
ka na
Ready
eh.
ka
For
na.
all clusters,
Sobrang nakakatulong
Pag
siya sa
ano,
lahat ng clusters.
Ang ginawa kong hack, inedit ko yung PDF ng VD in such a way na per division.
Uy, ang galing.
Per division, kasi iba-iba yung pages nun eh.
Oo,
Hindi naman
iba.
siya yung division 1, nasa page 1, ganun. So, nire-arrange ko siya in such a way na tuloy-tuloy lang. So,
Oo.
yung review ko, continuous lang. Like, may sinusunod ako na pattern.
Mm-mm.
Na, okay, concrete, and then wood, and then, hindi siya yung every now and then, I have to control F, hanapin ko kung ano yung topic.
Nung nakita ko siya, tinry ko siya i-read from the start. And then I asked my friends, sabi ko, paano ba to? Ganito ba talaga to? Do you just read it as ABCD? Kasi may dictionary talaga siya eh. And then my friend gave me an advice na sabi niya, i-group mo siya into, kunyari, ito puro BU, BT, construction, design. So what I did, kasi I bought the book from Shopee. And then, ano ba yun?
Okay lang.
Okay. I got the book from Shopee. Kaso nga lang, yun nga, instead yung ginawa ni Jube na he edited the whole PDF. Ang ginawa ko was, highlight ko na lang siya into different colors. Tapos yun yung labels nung, tabs. And then, yeah. Para tuloy-tuloy siya per subject yung move ng review.
Share ko lang rin kasi since sa kanya Shopee, ako naman I got the book like Christmas gift from a common friend kay Mitch.
Kay Mitch.
Shout out Mitch, thank you.
Shout out Mitch.
Yeah.
As in physical book ka
Physical
din.
book. So meron ako yung PDF na compressed na naka per topic.
Oo.
Tapos meron ako yung actual book na
Pang-highlight.
highlight
Annotate.
sketch kasi magulo ako mag-notes eh. Madaming bilog-bilog.
Ayun. Lagi ba kayo nagno-notes? Like, may kilala kasi ako na almost completely digital sila mag-review.
Ooh.
Tapos, it works for them. Like, naka-laptop lang. Tapos, like, occasionally, pag magsasagot ng pwede magsulat. Pero, I would say 90% of the review materials are digital. Yung iba naman, super manual na as in may Manila paper pa, tapos may mga pictures. Which category do you guys fall under?
Yeah, maybe I would say dun ako nag-transition. Like, I really had a hard time transitioning from manual to digital.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi way back college, laging gusto ko puro books, puro papers,
Physical.
like printed. I can't review sa iPad eh. Hindi. So, we have online classes. I mean, we had online classes. So, no choice. Kailangan ko mag-iPad. So, I would say hybrid na I also wrote physical notes sa wall, ganyan, and even on a notebook. At the same time, may digital din. Pero, the bulk of my review was manual. Like, papers pa rin. Like, actual books. And thanks to Aramis for your notes.
So, for me naman, I really, dun ako focus on the manual. So, meron talaga akong books, yung booklets. Pero yung mga ibang laws na, yung mga other laws na dina-download na lang sa Google, dun ko siya nilagay sa iPad para save paper. Save the trees.
So, consciously ba kayo nagsasave ng trees?
And then, kasi di ba iba nagsusulat sa Manila paper. Ako naman, I had, for some reason, ang dami kong stuck on index cards. So, doon ko siya muna nilagay and then yun yung stick ko sa walls. Yes.
Yeah.
May mga iba pa ba kayong specific review materials that, as in, ito yung Bible ko, essentially. Other than yung, obviously, yung DK-ching or yung BP344, or like, yung building code, what are other things na as in sobrang nag-rely on kayo na hindi naman super common? Or at least like, hindi part of the set na given kailangan mong i-review?
Yeah, meron akong tinatawag na golden notes.
Wow.
Notes mo.
Notes ko. Yeah. The golden notes.
10% for humility.
For humility, yeah. Doon kasi yung sulat yung mga feel ko important but I'm not familiar with. So every time, like, let's say, specifics ng dimensions, standards, doon ko nilalagay. Para may reference ako every time I would review and I have to go back to it. Lagi. So, ayun, physical notes siya. Kasi, and then, ginawa kong digital. So anywhere, at least dala ko laging
Asan
bubuklat
sinascan mo?
Scan lang, tingin lang ulit. O nga pala, ano yung standard ng ganyan, mga ganun. Something.
Nung start ng review, it was hard for me to really compare yung mga different na codes since there were really a lot. Tapos may mga iba pang codes na halos similar lang yung mga units or parang nagkakatalo lang sila sa 1.2 tapos isa 1.22 ganyan yung
Super small lang,
super
no?
small. So what helped me to visualize that was Viscode. Hi, Viscode.
Affiliated ka ba?
I have a promo code if you guys want.
Yes.
Ayan, go! Share your promo code. Ayan, dito. Mag-point ka.
Dito, promo code Viscode if you want 100% off.
Can you say your promo code?
Viscode Balisi. Viscode _Balisi 100.
Subscribe na kayo. Would you say useful siya? Kasi we had Viscode with us to talk about yung Viscode niya a few episodes ago. And for me, ang interesting niya kasi I wish at the time meron nun.
Yeah.
Kasi ang hirap i-compare ng mga codes. Tapos the fact na kaya din nilang i-visualize as well really helped na okay, ganito pala yun. Kasi iba yung iniisip kong meaning na, ito pala yung maximum length of this, diba?
Yeah.
Because there were days na, syempre, when you review, may mga days na ayaw mo talagang mag-review or parang sobrang repetitive kasi nung feeling nung routine.
Mm-hmm.
So, may days na parang, okay, mag-rest ako today. But, ang gagawin ko, sa rest days naman na yun, I would, sisingit ko konting review, pero yung hindi naman tutok na review.
Yung skim lang.
Skim lang. And dun siya nag-come in handy was, yung isa-isahin ko yung, kunyari, for P344 muna ako. And then, check ko lang yung mga diagrams. And then, that helped me familiarize then what it looks like. Yung itsura ng mga diagrams nila versus what the law says. Parang ganun.
Parang nagpapahinga ka na din in a way, diba? So, in terms of review sked, was that consistent all throughout? Especially nung full-time na kayo nag-review. Kasi, diba, there are phases sa pag-review. So, yung review center designed it so that bulk of your review is yung comprehensive na part. So, you're going back to basics. As in, yung nitty-gritty of things, dadaanan mo talaga. Susuklayin mo talaga yung lahat ng topics, essentially. Tapos, then, there's a refresher. I don't know how long yung refresher. 1 to 2 months ba?
2 months.
Around 2 months
Almost
na
2 months.
Yung ginagawa for most review centers based from my experience is that kailangan may knowledge ka na on the comp report para gets mo na kung ano yung mga tinatanong. So, more on reviewing questions, applying certain things, tapos yun na yung mga nakasingit like in between different topics na hindi na-tackle sa comprehensive part. Doon na sa refresher. And then, most of the time, if may free time pa, yung most reviewers, meron din na parang pre-board review, like nagmamaka exams and everything. Nag-iiba ba yung schedules nyo based on what phase kayo? Kasi yung, for me personally, mas busy ako nung comprehensive part. Tapos medyo nag-slow down yung schedule ko nung palapit na. So I'm not sure if that's the same for everyone.
Sa akin, the other way around.
Ako din.
Oo.
Mas relax ako nung compre. Pero nung refresher, parang yun na yung pukpukan eh. Kasi parang
malapit
more or
na.
less may kita mo yung standing mo.
Oo.
Not with other review mates but with your own like
Kasi may
grades.
quizzes.
Pumapasa ka ba? Ganun. So, I would say, mas naging busy ako nung refresher. One advantage of enrolling kasi is the schedule is laid out for you.
Sina-structure na nila,
it's well structured and it's up for you to whether to follow it or to pattern your own schedule. So, prior start of the exams or the review schedule, meron na ako nakaalat na calendar na, okay, by Feb, dapat nakabasa na ako ng certain subjects, certain topics, and then by March, and then, every month or day, laging naka-division sa akin per cluster. Kasi I only focus on at least 2 subjects per week. Hindi ko kaya yung Monday, HOA, Tuesday, plan.
Nakakalito-lito, diba?
Medyo ang hirap ng momentum eh. Tapos babalikan mo kung ano yung topic na binasa mo. So, I limit it 2 subjects per week. And then, tinetest out ko with the review schedule ng review center kung saan yung pacing ko. Pero nung una kasi ang hirap naghahabol ako. Sabi ko, oh no, lagi akong di nakaka-attend ng live classes.
Kasi fast yung comprehensive,
Fast-paced
diba?
eh.
Sobrang fast-paced niya.
So, ayun. Siguro, number one tip lang for future takers, parang limit your the topics that you would attend to. I'm not saying na hindi effective lahat, but siguro kaya mong aralin on your own, yung na hindi live session. Kasi ubusin yung time mo eh.
Yung iba din naman, kung saan ka medyo mas confident, huwag ka muna doon mag-focus. Doon ka muna sa nahihirapan ka, diba? Tapos if may time, doon ka na sa medyo gamay mo na.
Kasi nagla-live class lang ako sa mga hindi ako masyado
confident. Diba? Tama naman.
And then, I would say that yung schedule ko was nung padulo na doon ko mas na-feel yung pressure na dapat tapos na ako, pero bakit di pa ako nakakapag-start mag-memorize? Because what I prioritized was I really banked on knowledge first, like basa, or like talagang I wanted to go through all of the subjects first bago ako mag-start mag-memorize. So, pag nag-memorize na lang ako, it's more about familiar na ako sa whole gist of each subject. Pero yung memorization, it came to the later part na ng review ko, which was like 2 to 3 weeks before the exam.
Dami na na. All of those, as in dinaanan mo.
Doon na lang ako, yun na lang ginawa ko nung malapit na yung exam para memorize na lang since familiar na. And then, for yung tip ko lang din is, for review centers, they have their own strengths. So, some review centers are the best with refreshers and may review centers that are strength nila naman yung compre or rule 7 and 8. So what you can do is you can use that to your advantage. So,
mix and match mo na lang.
Mix and match mo na lang siya. Because what I did was, hindi ako, nung time na mag-enroll, doon na lang ako muna nag-enroll kasi doon yung kakilala ko. Sige, dyan na lang din ako. Ang ending tuloy was like, I enrolled full on a certain review center. Tapos, nadoble ko siya kasi nag-enroll pa ako sa isa pang refresher. Nag-focus ako doon sa isang refresher. Tapos, hindi ko tuloy na-attendan yung isang refresher since na-doble-doble na. So, yun. I think that's one thing to do is like to mix and match if you can. Tapos yun, research din. I think that's better.
Actually.
Yeah. If I may add dun sa research part, kasi challenging if you have multiple review centers.
Yeah.
Kasi may
nagka-clash yung class nila.
May iba-ibang sagot. Tapos, ang sasabihin nila, ikaw bahala kung ano papaniwalaan mo. So, that's the major challenge for me. So, yun nga, kailangan mo pa rin mag-research. And, ang galing kasi they have their own dynamics. So, may iba-ibang strength talaga. So, tama. Mix and match ka.
So, did you guys have like a group, did you guys have like a group of friends to study with? As in, may community talaga kayo that you kept close to you?
Personally, sarili lang din ako talaga nag-focus on review. But there were very few small instances na we would answer the same quizzes at the same time. Parang naka-stream siya sa Discord. And then, okay, anong sagot natin dito? Tama ba to? Tapos we talk about each A, B, C, D, ganyan. Tapos, bakit yun yung sagot namin? So, through that exercise, I think the practice din naman namin yung pag-explain. And may, in a way, it's a bit more fun and mas light yung way of review nun sometimes.
Less pressure.
Yeah.
Sa akin, I'm also with my core group ng college. Tapos, yung isa naming isang friend, we would call each other kapag, nag-review ka na ba? Kumbaga parang alarm clock. Okay, mag-start ka na. Parang okay, message lang. And then, kami, we enrolled ba? Well, we bought a promo for Top Notcher. Na mock boards kasi siya. Tapos sabay-sabay namin sasagutan na at the same time.
Parang simulate
na namin. Not really to compare scores, but more of to compare our standing kung ako lang ba yung nahirapan or mahirap ba siya talaga in general. And I would say Top Notcher Hindi ko sila pinopromote. Pero top-notcher is the closest
Talaga?
type of exam sa boards.
I
For
tried
me.
it then. It was
For
pretty
me.
close.
Like compared to other mock boards, yung top-notcher parang more or less same setup.
Kasi exactly the same yung format.
Same
almost,
format, yeah.
Yung way that the questions were worded and the way the questions are organized din, super similar. Kamusta yung results nyo sa mock?
I failed.
Wala akong napasa sa mock.
Wala ka na pa sa mock.
Unless ulitin mo, no? Pero ang style ko is, ulitin ko siya after like 1 week or ano. Basta, so yung memory medyo hindi fresh. So, ayun.
Pero
Yun din
diba,
pala tip for refreshers and mock exams. I-expect mo na baka i-break yung confidence mo with the results.
Normal yun.
So, you have to prepare for it.
Babagsak ka talaga sa mock.
Okay, na hindi umabot ng 50%, ganun.
Kahit 50%
Yung last
na.
mock boards ng Atlas, hindi ko na tinake. Kasi parang sabi ko, hindi ko mabibring down lang ako nito.
Madadown ka
So,
lang.
okay na, tiwala na lang ako sa sarili ko na sa
Actually.
boards na lang talaga yung final bakbak.
Sa akin, baliktad eh. Nag-take ako nung last na mock.
Tumaas yung confidence.
Akala ko parang, dinurog ko. Com results, parang ang layo ng score ko. Yeah, so.
Nung tinitake ko din yung mock boards, especially dun sa design part, may mga questions kasi sa refresher na prepared naman ako how to deal with yung design subjects. Pero may mga kakaiba sa mock boards na paano kaya yun? Like, the same yung problem pero may weird lang na thing na hindi ko alam.
Lumalabas sa choices.
So, napapractice din yung critical thinking mo na paano ko gagawan to ng paraan pag actual board exam na. Kasi madami, like, I remember specifically, yung time ng boards ko, yung katabi ko, nagbe-memorize siya ng sites. Yung itsura ng lot. Sabi ko, parang ganun ba talaga yung ano?
While exam or?
Like, as in, right before exam. Magkatabi ko siya before going into the room. Binememorize niya yung plot, yung how, yung shape ng lot.
Wow.
So, sabi ko, medyo delix na strategy yun. Tapos ayun, parang kinabahan actually, na-shake yung confidence ko na parang, mali ba yung strategy ko na halapan ng like something na logic yo para ma-close lang yung site. Tapos ayun, like, I feel kinda bad. Pero naalala ko distinctly, nung binigay sa amin yung day 2 na test paper, parang ang sakit ng ulo niya. Parang, shucks. Parang, oh no, hindi lumabas yung site ko.
Irregular lot.
Irregular. So yun, doon ka na-realize na, okay, tama naman pala na you have to memorize how you solve the problem. Kasi may times talaga na umuulit yung mismong site. Diba? Yun yung sinabi.
At least for other batches.
For your batch, medyo iba.
Problems, ganun.
But for other batches, sinabi talaga nila na, eto, there are like 5 problems na 50% of the time, at least 2 of these 5 problems lalabas. Kaya medyo may managed expectations na talaga kami. So I'm sorry for you guys na iba yung naging ano.
Siguro that's something that we don't have.
Sorry na.
During our boards. Parang wala eh. Ano yung expect mo? Parang ganun.
So other than that, since you are now an architect, maybe you have some tips you'd like to give our future takers, or maybe stuff na in hindsight feeling mo helpful na alam mo before taking or before starting your review journey.
Okay, I can go first.
Yeah, okay, go.
So on the exam day, I feel like it's a really good thing to do is to bring a watch sa sa exam day
Important.
mo. Kasi nung time ko, walang clock. Yung lahat ng classroom sa Sodeco, doon kasi ako napunta. Pati at sa Jubilee.
Yeah.
Tapos, so buti na lang may dala akong watch kasi yung mga proctor, sila may watch sila. Pero, syempre, wala naman yung parang big clock to manage your time. And then, yung lang din, another tip is that you can also schedule lahat ng PRC requirements ahead of time. If kaya mo, January pa lang, gawin mo na, or even months before reviewing.
Yeah.
Get them all out of the way, yung logbook, ganyan. Kasi may times na nung sa amin, madami na nagpapanik. So, ikaw din mapapanik ka kasi may mga maling nasasabing information. So, nag-add to the panic.
Mhm.
So, kung kaya mong i-try tapusin lahat as early as you can, go do it. Kasi don't be like me na sumama ako sa panic eh. So, yun.
Ang tagal din ng logbook, no? Pero
Tagal
kasing
siya.
part siya ng requirements before taking the exam. And yung deadline niya is months before the exam. Tapos kailangan mong i-tabulate dun lahat ng hours mo, diba? Tapos minsan, ang hirap niyang like i-tabulate kasi iba-iba yung categories.
Yes.
So, actually, helpful nga.
For me, same din. Finish all the requirements even before starting to review.
Mhm.
Kasi kapag nag-review ka na, like, yung experience ko, iniisip ko patuloy yung requirements na sana tapos na yun prior ba. And during review phase, may number one tip would be to set your own schedule and deadline. Deadline talaga. As in, don't rely on the schedule of review centers. Kasi sometimes, for other areas or topics, it's too long for them to cover or too short for some important topics. So, ayun lang, filter out the review materials and the clusters that you need to review on. And on the day of exam, siguro mahirap sabihin na huwag kang kabahan kasi kakabahan ka talaga.
Hindi mo talaga yun
Hindi talaga, ma-ask. Yeah, but more of presence of mind lang. Kasi you've been practicing mock boards, you've been studying. So, on that day, parang more on focus eh. Kasi once matanggal sa yung focus mo, mahirap eh. Kaya siguro one training lang that I had during my review, nag-review ako sa pinaka-uncomfortable na area. Yeah, it would sound funny, pero kunwari sa table na uneven, tas mainit, i-off ko yung aircon, I'm expecting the worst pagdating ng exam.
Parang sinisimulate mo na yung exam.
Kasi you don't know yung exam setup mo eh. Kami parang 1 week before exam, sinabi last minute na iba yung location, di ba? Parang doon niya, Elena Tower. So parang everyone was excited na high-rise siya, na may view.
Maganda yun.
Ganyan.
Na-excite ako dun eh.
Tapos biglang nilipat sa a school in Manila na medyo congested yung area.
Sa
So
Moraita.
yun yung bulk ng tip ko na huwag mo expect na comfortable yung magiging
Huwag yung
table
best
mo.
conditions.
Expect the worst sa akin lagi.
Tama. Agree.
Kasi kunwari magpa-plot cuts, ang liit pala. Yung table mo, armchair lang. So, ayun, expect mo yung mga ganong problems that would arise na hindi lang siya about sa exam. More of, like, paano ka nag-exam? Ganun.
Minsan din, for example, yung battery ng calculator mo,
Yeah.
mamatay.
Mamatay.
So, ako nagdala akong dalawa. Kasi kinakabahan ako. Medyo ino-overthink ko na hindi, what if nasira or anything. So, yun. Parang, agree, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
Yung other thing na worried ako actually was matapunan ng ulam. Yung test paper. Random lang.
Dude.
Kasi may mga ganong story na may dala silang sinigang or something.
gosh.
Kasi syempre, gets ko yung logic na yun. Yung logic nila is essentially kung ano yung comfort food nila para ma-power through sila, diba? Yung sauce, kung ano man yung menudo, sinigang, para as in full meal, tas ready ka. Ako kasi baliktad, kailangan yung bland lang, na hindi ka masyadong tas yun, as much as possible, medyo konting dumi. Pero, part yun ng expectations ko na, baka amoy ulam yung yung area ko. Which is interesting naman. Pero, luckily, I think nung boards ko, wala namang masyadong unexpected. If may tip pala ako for, like, future takers, for during the day, pag feeling nyo, wala nang hope. Kasi, baka magkaroon sila ng point na gano'n. Especially, for example, unexpected yung mga design questions na hindi talaga siya nag-match sa nireview nyo. I guess yung tip ko lang is ituloy nyo pa din. Kasi meron mga tao na nag-give up talaga. Pag nakita yung paper, tas hindi ko alam tong 10 items na to. Yung first 10 items, yung first 20 items, hindi ko siya na-review. Ituloy mo pa din.
Yes.
Like, push lang ng push.
Kayo ng like ChatGPT, AI, whatever.
Ako, Yes. Nung time na nagre-review, parang naging best friend ko si ChatGPT. For a lot of things. Like, may part na nag-ask ako regarding review. Na parang, what's the difference between this material and this material?
Actually.
Tapos nung time na nagsaspiral na, naghingi na din ng advice kami.
Naging girlfriend mo talaga literal.
Pero wala lang. I think it's more like you should use yung mga AI para lang matulungan ka din sa review era mo. Kasi andun na din siya. Like, it really gives you a lot about the gist. Pwede mo siyang sabihin na gusto mo siya ng gist yung info. Pwede din naman in a list or bullet na mas mabilis
yung format mo, diba?
Or tabulated, ganyan. So, yeah.
Parang depends on your study technique or review technique.
Oo.
Pwede mo yan. Ako, last tip din is to immerse yourself with refreshers, like multiple mock board exams. For me, yun yung number one, I would say, challenge sa iba na they focus much on comprehensive, not the exam type. Di ba dapat nga you immerse yourself with question and answer kasi hindi naman siya, technically, it's not real life set up eh. It may be correct theoretically na hindi naman pinapractice sa construction or sa actual. So, yun, try to answer as much as possible. Kasi, exam siya, hindi naman siya presentation or something.
Yeah, yung comprehensive kasi, usually, alam mo lang siya 1:1. Ano yung question na to? Ito yung fact na to.
Yes.
Pero your refresher, you're applying multiple things. And kailangan mo nga yung ma-practice.
Doon mo pa-practice how to cancel out.
Oo.
Not really to know the answer, but to cancel out the wrong answer.
Na parang similar lang sila.
Agreed.
Yun lang.
Any takeaways?
For me, don't forget to rest. Kasi sometimes it can get too overwhelming na parang ang hirap na niyang i-balance lahat yung personal life mo, yung review, and then kung meron ka man sideline or if you're still also working, ang hirap niyang i-balance lahat. So also give yourself the credit na you're also trying, ganyan. And yung feel free to rest when you need it. Kasi the information won't get through your brain kung pagod ka or you feel burned out na. So, that's one of the things na I really tried to tell myself na nagre-review na okay lang magpahinga. Parang ganun.
For me, final key takeaways, take your time in general. Whether if you want to take the exam now or take your time in reviewing, no one's pressuring you kung kailan eh. Kasi you'll never be ready. Wala naman yung fully ready ka na right there and then. So, take your time and try to be more human. That you have your strengths, you have your weaknesses, and you know where to focus. And yun lang. Good luck for all future architects.
Good luck.
Hope to see you in the industry. Yeah.
And I think that's a really good way to sum everything up. Thank you so much, Fadie and Jub, for joining us for this episode of Babble Station. Bye!